Puli, a breed of herding dog, bred for herding and accompanying livestock during hauls. Agile, hardy, and efficient dogs. Not aggressive, but wary of strangers. They can make good companions, but are not recommended for families with young children unless they have been raised with them since puppyhood. They adapt well to life in the city, but need long walks. Puli are very calm, mobile, easy to train. Their hair does not need to be combed, it should be in the form of cords. The only requirement is to keep these cords clean. This is an old breed of Hungarian Shepherd dogs. It is believed that the ancestors of the Puli came to Europe more than 1,000 years ago along with the Magyar nomadic tribes. Her size and energy allow her to be a conscientious shepherd, and her innate militancy makes her a fearless and reliable watchman. Dark corded wool protects Puli from weather and attack. The Puli is an original Hungarian breed originating from Asia. This breed has found its way as a herding dog, but it can also serve as a house dog. Larger specimens prove their advantages as guard and search dogs. Puli's devotion to man is boundless. By nature, Puli is unpretentious and hardy. With proper upbringing and handling, he is easily amenable to comprehensive training. In appearance, he looks like a commander, only he is much smaller than him. The history of the breed. Puli originate from the west of China and share common roots with Tibetan Terriers. Perhaps the ancestors of these dogs, having overcome the Asian heights, arrived on the territory of modern Hungary along with the Avar nomads. But the version is considered traditional, according to which the ancestors of Puli were brought to Hungary in the 13th century by the Cumans. In Hungarian writing, the name Puli appears in 1751. The Magyars probably brought the Puli to Hungary in the 9th century when they invaded westwards from Siberia, and it has been a sheepdog on the Hungarian plains since then. It is the ancestor of the poodle. The breed was first studied by Dr. Emil Ratzitz from Hungary's veterinary college in the 1920s. The Puli would commonly work together with a much larger, white commander, a Hungarian breed of, solely, livestock guardian dog. The commander is a large, solidly built dog, around 30 inches tall. The commander or several commandrak, if there was a large amount of livestock, guarded the sheep or cattle mostly at night, while the Puli herded and guarded them during the day. When wolves or bears attacked the livestock, the Puli would alert the pack and the commandrak would come and fight the intruders. Pulis can be good at fighting off wolves because the thick coat protects their skin from being bitten. The commandrak usually rested during daytime, but at night walked around the flock, constantly moving, patrolling the area. Nomadic shepherds of the Hungarian plains valued their herding dogs, paying as much as a year's salary for a Puli. Although the coats may look slightly similar, the Puli has never worked in water, and the Puli's coat does not grow continuously in the same fashion as a corded poodle's coat once the cords are formed. Possibly the Puli's ancestors are ancient Hungarian shepherd dogs. Travelers brought the Puli with them to the Carpathian Basin to help organize the flocks and herd the stallions of the area. Large commander or kuvis were used for guarding the flock. The Puli was also a suitable guard for flock protection, but was primarily used for herding the animals. Around the beginning of the 20th century, a real turning point for the breed came when it was rediscovered, but no longer used much as a sheepdog. Extensive shepherding was replaced by intensive farming. The Puli's role was reduced in the life of the flock. Although their traditional duty was kept, they started to fulfill jobs that were convenient in the circumstances of their owner. They became house dogs. After World War II, the breed became a less popular pet. Even now, the breed has not been able to regain the popularity it previously enjoyed. The U.S. Department of Agriculture imported 4 purebred Pulik in 1935 to Beltsville, Maryland as part of an experiment when trying to help American agriculturists concerned with the problem of herding dogs which sometimes killed the animals to which they had been entrusted to control. The Pulik were bred among themselves and crossed with the German Shepherd, the Chow Chow, and perhaps with 2 Turkish sheepdogs which were quartered there at the time. On the tests given by researchers there, Pulik scored, on the average, between 75 and 85, where other herding breeds scored in the range of 12 to 14. Because tests were inconclusive, they were never published. When World War II broke out, the Pulik were auctioned off to professional breeders, and it is thought that it is from these 4 dogs and their progeny that history of the Puli in the United States began. Highlights and interesting facts. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg has a white Puli named Beast. In the 1960s, writer Harlan Ellison adopted a Puli named Abu and wrote about him in the 1975 Hugo-winning novelette The Deathbird. In addition, Abu appeared in the 1969 short story A Boy and His Dog as a predecessor to the main character's telepathic dog Blood. In 1978, a Puli called Cinco Dudek CB won the World Exposition organized by the Federación Cinológica Internacional. The Mexican-born dog was owned by breeder Roberto Hernandez Avalos. The dog known as the Auditor is assumed to be a Puli. It lived in the contaminated Berkeley Pit copper mine in Butte, Montana. Notable for being one of the few things that could live and thrive in such a place, in time it became a sort of mascot for the town. After the auditor died, several memorials were erected celebrating its existence. British grunge rock band Bush featured a picture of a leaping Puli in the booklet to their album 16 Stone. This particular Puli belonged to frontman Gavin Rossdale and was named Winston. American novelist T.C. Boyle used to own several Pulik and still has one. One of them, named Kutya, is commemorated in his novel The Harder They Come. Appearance. General form. Strong, intelligent dog with a friendly expression. Due to her long curly hair, she is not very pretty at first glance, but upon closer observation, she soon becomes pretty. Height at the withers. The height at the withers in males is from 40 to 44 centimeters, in females 37-41 centimeters. Head. Fairly short and not too wide in the skull in relation to the muzzle. The transition from the forehead to the muzzle is only slightly noticeable, the nose is not pointed. The head is covered with long hair and the muzzle is also adorned with a long thick beard. Scissor or pincer bite. Muzzle. Dull and the nose is always completely black. Eyes. Coffee brown in color, covered with long thick eyebrows that completely obscure the eyes. However, he sees well. Ears. Overgrown with long hair and set high, hanging down, have the shape of a Roman 5 and, due to the rich overgrowth, give the impression of being larger than in reality. Neck. Short and muscular. Torso. Characterized by a straight back, slightly sloping croup, chest broad but not barrel-shaped. Forelimbs. Columnar, straight, not too long, strong-boned, muscular and covered with matted hair. Hind limbs. Also with well-developed muscles, covered with long hair. Paws. Dense, in a lump, with black claws. Tail. Overgrown with lush hair, it is carried either downwards or in a ring on the back. The coat is long, hard, evenly covering the entire body. The hair is wavy, in curls. The undercoat is thick and soft. The coat itself is tangled into cords, which are finally formed in an adult dog. Color black, brown or gray. Puppies are born black and acquire their color only by 1.5 years. Color. Rusty black and all shades of gray are allowed. Vices. Short and decaying coat, long narrow head, elongated hair paws, peebled color. Dogs with a white mark on the chest and on the paws are not allowed in the tribe. Distinctive character traits. The Puli is an intelligent and active dog. It needs obedience training while still young. If a Puli gets enough exercise, it can live in the city, but they do best when not kept indoor pets in small living spaces. Pulis kept indoors need a lot of exercise to use up their energy, or they can become either shy or overactive. They need to get the kind of exercise they were created for. Pulis are best kept in a house with a garden. Cozy and very friendly, especially towards children, they are sensitive and prone to resentment. Pulis are intelligent, agile dogs. Despite their bulky appearance and very thick coat, they are very fast, agile, and able to change directions instantly and are obedient enough to train for athletic competition. They are devoted and form close bonds with their owners. The breed is intelligent and can do well in obedience training if begun early. Traditionally, the Puli dog breed was used as a herding dog and sometimes even as a livestock guarding dog as well. They make very good guard dogs since they are very protective of their masters and territory. The Puli is sensitive, fun-loving, courageous, but also, at times, tough and headstrong. They are loyal to their owners and wary of strangers. They are highly active and keep a playful, puppy-like behavior their entire lives. They need a lot of exercise and free space, preferably outdoors. They can be trained and housebroken, but Pulis are generally not very well suited as city or indoor pets. When restricted to closed spaces for long periods of times, they grow restless and may develop unwanted personality traits, such as becoming hyperactive or, instead, increasingly aloof and lazy. As a working dog, the Puli is very obedient, focused and determined when assigned a task. Some of them are used as police dogs. As a livestock guarding dog, they are fiercely protective of their territory and flock and, despite their relatively small size, will fearlessly try to scare and drive any intruder away. However, they very rarely inflict any real injuries. As a family dog, they make good security dogs and faithful family guardians. They can be very friendly and playful, even in old age. They regard their family as their flock and will keep their distance until they are sure a stranger is not a threat. When annoyed, they may attack without warning, so a considerable distance may be advisable for strangers. They can be extremely independent and obstinate and only accept strong-willed individuals as master. Pulis can compete in dog agility trials, obedience, rally obedience, showmanship, flyball, tracking, and herding events. Herding instincts and trainability can be measured at non-competitive herding tests. Pulis exhibiting basic herding instincts can be trained to compete in herding trials. Price and how to buy. Puli. Depending on the purpose of the purchase, the cost of the puppy will differ. Offspring without the possibility of exhibition and further breeding costs from $700. If there are plans for future puppies as parents, then the price increases by 2 to 3 times. Show-class puppies are even more expensive, and the price depends on the pedigree and what prizes were received by the parents of the puppies at various exhibitions. If you are looking for a show-class puppy, then you need to contact the breeders registered in the Unified International Register of Breeders, where there is a guarantee of pure blood. In this case, a contract of sale must be signed, where all the circumstances are prescribed in order to avoid misunderstandings. Buying a puppy in unreliable places is a huge risk of getting a dog similar to Puli, but not being it. While the dog is small, it is difficult to understand how the puppy meets the requirements.